So today I'm talking about a Nissan with the P0455 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. And so what is the Nissan P0455 code? Well, it's an evaporative emission, system leak detected, gross leak, no flow. And what does this mean? Well, modern vehicles have what's called an evap system that basically takes all the gas vapors from the gas tank and feeds them back up to the engine to get burnt off so they don't escape into the atmosphere. This is for emissions. And the onboard computer is seeing a problem with this, mainly that there's a leak going on. And so it's going to have to be troubleshooted, know why. And depending on the year, the Nissan, the model, and things like this, there could be some differences on exactly what's going on inside the evap system. So it's always a good idea to get a diagram for your specific Nissan to know exactly what's going on. But the basics of what's going on is that the gas vapors are going to leave the gas tank. They're going to go through a hose. They're going to go over to what's called a vapor charcoal canister, which is basically like storage for the gas vapors. And there's also going to be a vent valve, which is usually located on the charcoal canister, although they can be separate sometimes. It's usually located on the charcoal canister. And this does a few things. Mainly it's used by the computer to test the system. It opens and closes when the computer tells it to. And then a hose is going to leave the charcoal canister. It's going to go up to the top of the engine to what's called a purge valve. And the purge valve basically opens when the engine's running, so the gas vapors go in and get burnt off. And then it closes when the engine's not running, so they don't escape. And so the first thing to go and check with this code is going to be the gas cap, because the gas cap is a part of the evap system. If it doesn't seal up right, if there's something wrong with it, if it's cracked or damaged or anything like this, then it's going to cause problems. So first thing to go and do is check out your gas cap, be sure that it's good. The next thing that could cause this problem is going to be the purge valve, which is located up on top of the engine. Again, it's going to vary on exactly where it's located, but it'll be up inside the engine compartment somewhere. It'll have two hoses going to it and a wiring harness. But the first thing to do is go check out that purge valve. Be sure none of these hoses look like they're leaking or anything like this. There's some different ways you'll go about testing the purge valve. I made a video on this. I'll put a link down below if you need to check that out. But the first thing to do is go check out that purge valve and be sure it's working correctly. The next thing that could cause this problem is going to be that vent valve. The vent valve is usually going to be located on the charcoal canister, and the charcoal canister will be located up underneath the vehicle by the gas tank somewhere. Again, it's going to vary, but as that vent valve gets stuck open, then it can cause a leak. And again, there's different ways you go about testing these valves. They're basically just solenoids that open and close when the computer tells it to. But the next thing that could cause this problem is going to be that vent valve. If you took it to a mechanic, very likely what they would do is they use a smoke machine and they'd feed smoke into the evap system. And then wherever the smoke come out, they would know where the leak's at. Since it can be kind of difficult to try to find out where they're leaking at, there is some low-cost smoke machine units on like Amazon or eBay and things like this. I'll put a link down below if you need one. You can also make these up yourself. There's some good YouTube videos on how you can make these up for like $5, $10. But the next thing to do is to go around to all these hoses and all these components and everything and be sure that they're all connected good, that there's no issues going on there or anything like that, because very likely one of these hoses or something's leaking or something like that. But the next thing to do is to go and look and see if you can't find any leaks going on. And of course, if there's anything wrong with the wiring that can cause issues, so wiring would be another thing that could be tested. Another thing that could cause this problem is going to be the pressure sensor. And again, this could be located differently. Sometimes it's on top of the gas tank. Sometimes it's right on the fuel pump. So you have to look up your specific Nissan to know exactly where it's located. But if the fuel tank pressure sensor goes bad, then there might not be a problem inside the system, but the onboard computer thinks there is, since that pressure sensor is just giving it bad data. So that's something to keep in mind. And the charcoal canister can also be bad. It could be leaking or damaged. The vent valve attaches to the charcoal canister, and usually they could be bought separately. But if the charcoal canister is really old, it might be damaged or leaking or something like this going on. So the next thing to go and check is going to be the charcoal canister. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a Nissan with the P0455 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.